My name is Ricky Volk, and in this video I'll be rambling about the third song on my recent-ish EP, INLOA. As with the other songs I've already made 2 videos about, a lot of what I would have to say about this song would be similar in terms of like how it was recorded and why and whatever, especially the why part. I recommend looking at the first video, largely about the first song called I Never Liked Orange Anyway, for a bit more commentary about why I recorded this EP and the central themes that it's about. But I'm going to try to keep this video shorter than the others, which coincidentally this song is also by far the shortest on the EP. The other 2 songs are like 4+ minutes each, and this one didn't even reach 3 minutes. This song is by far the heaviest and kind of most punk song. There are only 3 songs. The first one is the closest to like a standard rock kind of song, like Foo Fighters-esque, and the second one is kind of an experimental acoustic-ish soft song, and this one is just straight fast guitars and kind of yelled vocals. This is the last song on the EP, but it's also the first one that I started. I had just been to a Foo Fighters concert, and as usual they left me feeling very inspired, and a couple days later I just kind of plugged in and started riffing away, and the kind of mood in the air about some events in the world had me feeling like making just a quick and heavy song. In particular, with this one, I was aiming for something kind of like the heavier songs on the Foo Fighters Color and the Shape album, like the title track, The Color and the Shape, or Enough Space. You know, they've got screamed vocals, and the riffs are a little more metal on that album than the rest. And so this song largely just consists of 2 riffs that I put together that day. I was honestly just playing to some generic drums I set up and created 2 extremely similar riffs, and then I kind of set it aside for a few months before I decided to put together this whole project. But in writing this song, I decided, why do I have to choose between these 2 very similar riffs? They can actually go together. And so one is the verse riff and one is the chorus riff. Eventually I just edited the drums to make those parts seem like separate sections of the song. I didn't necessarily scream in this song like Dave Grohl would in those heavier Foo Fighters songs, but I did add some background vocals that are kind of similar to some like Swedish mellow death bands, you know, like Dark Tranquillity, etc., which I'd never ever tried before, and I maybe will never again. That's not something I do and not something I'm comfortable with, but I just did it as a layer here for fun, because this whole project is kind of just for fun, me just playing with things. I busted out these songs as fast as I could with as much urgency as I could, and just didn't really care too much about their quality in songwriting or in their production. And this song probably sounds the worst out of all 3, but it's also the punkiest song, and so I didn't care to fix it too much because it just makes it sound more authentic to punk. Like the first song, I Never Liked Orange Anyway, I had to record these vocals in my car. Even though I didn't scream them per se, they are still very loud, and these walls are paper thin, and so to not get a noise complaint or scare someone, I had to use my phone and go into my car because it's the most private place I had available. The phone doesn't record the greatest quality, but it got the job done, and again, I didn't care too much about the sound quality of these songs. Which brings me to the guitars of this song. I actually started this song with this guitar. I did a sort of unboxing video, which I'll link here. It's by far my craziest guitar. It's a very metal guitar, and so it lent itself to the type of riffs that I made, but to be a bit further dumb and playful and just unserious. I also recorded this song with this guitar, which I used in the first song as well. This is my first electric guitar and by far my most affordable. I just panned one to the left and one to the right and blended them together, and it's shockingly hard to tell them apart, which has led me to realize that the biggest difference between them is their playability. Like the fancier guitar has stainless steel frets and just feels smoother to play overall, and the old Fender Squire doesn't stay in tune too well, whereas the other never really falls out of tune. But in terms of the sound, it would be hard to differentiate them. I could probably do so fairly easily if I had recorded 2 different versions of the song, one with that guitar, one with the other, but blended together, they're shockingly similar, especially when using the same guitar tone. This is the only song on the project where I used this fancy of a guitar, and in my mind, I'm just being kind of funny in that this is also the song where the playing mattered the least. I used my fanciest guitar, but also just kind of played almost intentionally sloppy to kind of give it that wilder punk feel that you'll hear in the start of the song and kind of throughout. All the guitar scraping and the chords are just a bit wilder overall, whereas this guitar would usually be used by people to be more precise and smooth. Lastly, regarding the topic of this song, I can't really talk about it in a video because I already encountered issues with both of the first two videos because they were flagged for certain things that I don't even want to say the reason, because then this one will wind up the same way. But I will say the first song on the project is kind of the main one and the song with kind of the most direct topic. The second song is the softer one, a little more emotional, and then this song is also pretty in your face. But if you listen to this song and if you listen to the EP in general, and you see the title of this song and you can't gather what the song is about, that might be part of the problem as to why I needed to write this song in the first place. And I encourage you to start listening to and watching and reading things outside of your usual sources. And that's pretty much all I can say about the topic of this song. Based on my issues with the other videos, that already might be too much. But for those of you who do understand, I really hope you enjoy it. This is the last video about this EP. You can listen to this song and the other songs on pretty much all services, Apple Music, Spotify, etc. I will link it in the description for this video. Thanks for listening and watching, and here's to a volume 2 in the near future.